I got fired today. Today's Monday. I put in my 2-week notice on Friday.
Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about a lot of employees are being fired for giving 2 weeks notice to their job. So I've put two stitches together so that you watch. I'll be back to share my truths.
I got fired today. Today's Monday. I put in my 2-week notice on Friday. So one business day ago, I put in my notice because I got another job. So that was Friday morning. I put in my notice. Friday afternoon, I noticed a meeting get put on my calendar for today, Monday at 3. Well, over the weekend, I got sick. So I worked a little bit this morning and then just decided like I couldn't do it. I felt like shit. I wanted to go home. So I slacked our HR lady and was like, hey, I know we have a meeting at 3, but like I'm going to have to push it till tomorrow because I'm going home sick. Tell me why she calls me on my personal number. I don't know who it is, so I don't answer it. And then she leaves a message and then calls me back, or basically saying like, hey, I wanted to touch base with you today. So already I'm like, something seems fucking sketchy, right? Now, remind you, I don't start my new job until the 13th. So I have 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. So I call the HR lady back and tell her like, hey, sorry, I had to, push the meeting. Like, I feel like shit. I just went and picked up medicine, whatever. She was like, well, since you turned in your notice on Friday, me and your management had a discussion and we just decided that it would be beneficial for everybody if today is your last day. I said, beneficial for who? Because it's not beneficial for me. So now I'm out basically an entire paycheck, half a month's worth of money. All because I wanted to do the right thing and turn in my notice. If I would have known they were just going to fire me, I would have waited. But no. Fuck's in business. That's all I have to say.
This is why employees stop putting in the 2 weeks before they go.
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I do want to let you know that the company has decided to end your employment with us effective immediately. Although you did submit a 2 weeks notice, we appreciate it, but our company does not have to honor that. So with that, we are ending your working relationship with us today. So what I would like for you to do, Stephen, is please log out of all company accounts and systems right away. So we will also need you to return any company property that you have, such as your equipment. And what we'll do is we'll follow up with instructions on how to return these items and details about your final paychecks and any other benefits that you may be entitled to at this time. So, Stephen, I know this is not information that you're wanting to hear, but I do want to thank you at least for your contributions.
Hey, excuse me, but I just put that 2 weeks notice in today. I sent it over to my team lead.
Understood. And we did advise the team lead as well that we don't have to honor it. We don't. So with that, we're going to go ahead and end your employment with us effective immediately.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't get a job with 2 weeks notice. So I quit my job like 2 weeks ago. Don't worry, I got another one. I'm on my lunch break right now. But I quit my job like 2 weeks ago, and I called myself giving them a 2 week notice because that was just the right thing to do. And really, my mama told me to do it because at first I was just going to leave on my last day. But my mom was like, no, give it 2 weeks notice. So I gave them the 2 weeks notice. Okay, cool. They was like, okay, thank you for letting us know. The next week roll around, like halfway through the week. Scratch that. It wasn't the next week. It was the same week I gave it 2 weeks notice. I gave it that Monday, and on that Thursday when I had to go in the office, that's when they pulled me to the HR office and was like, we're just gonna go ahead and part ways today. Oh, bitch, ho, please. Cause what for what? I feel like they was trying to beat me to the punch and trying to be funny. And I really wanted to punch both of them in the face right then and there. I hope they see this. I wanted to punch them in the face. But I just took that as like, okay, I got a week break before I have to start retaining new information from this job. And I'm in training right now, and so far I love this job. They really pour into us to make sure that we understand everything and we're gonna execute the job properly. But I still just don't like the way they did that in my last job. Like, it still be eating me up when people do stuff like that, like little grimy stuff. I be feeling like I need to talk about it for like at least 3 weeks, or else I'm gonna want to retaliate. But yeah, if y'all thinking about quitting y'all job, of course, make sure you got another one first. But if you're thinking about quitting your job, just quit on the same day that you ready to leave. Don't tell them I'm gonna leave in 2 weeks. Quit the same. Say before you clock out, tell them, hey, by the way, this is my last day. I'll bring you the equipment Monday or whatever, but it's my last day. Have a great one.
Tomorrow's my last day at work, and honestly, I'm so confused because I thought when you submit your 2 weeks, it's kind of like when you're a senior in school and it's the last 2 weeks before summer break and you do stuff, but not really. But they want me to do my exact job responsibilities as if nothing's changed. But I was also doing stuff above my scope of work and under the impression that I was gonna get promoted 3 weeks ago. And I thought the whole point of a 2 weeks was that you can transition your stuff to another person, not squeeze as much work out of me as possible. Because if I was really so important to these tasks because I have so much knowledge on them, then why didn't they just pay me more to keep me longer? And because I'm a pushover, I still did some of the tasks anyways. But honestly, at this—
Hey, you're on speaker?
I just got notified you put your 2 weeks in. What's that about?
Yeah, it's just time for me to start a new chapter in my life and just kind of make some more money.
I thought you were happy here. I doubt you found anything better.
Well, I'm sure I did, and I'm excited for the new opportunity.
I think I'm just going to make an executive decision and just let you go right now. I think it's best for both of us.
I would like to finish my 2 weeks out so I can actually get paid before I start my new job.
Well, you are leaving the company, so it doesn't make sense to keep you on just to satisfy what you want.
If that's what you really want, I'll send over the Anderson project I was working on. There's probably about 40 more hours left to do on it, so I'll send that your way.
Well, now hold on a minute. I'm not going to have time to finish that project up. Maybe we'll just keep you on to finish that up.
Well, I've decided that it would be best for both of us to just have me quit now.
So you're just going to leave me with the project?
No, I wasn't going to. I was actually going to finish the project during the 2 weeks that I was going to be there. But it's abundantly clear that you didn't want to keep me on. So what I'm going to do is just end it now. And good luck on the Anderson project. And you have a wonderful day.
Has anyone else seen that one TikTok? I think her username was like Kelsey or something like that. She let her team lead know at her job that like she was gonna be quitting in the next like month or so. She put in her 2 week notice, and then her manager came right around and fired her right after. And as much as I hate that for, man, the biggest scam in this world, the biggest thing that's ever been made up is the 2 week notice. I don't even know when the 2 week notice came around, but man, the last 2 jobs I've had, I've given a 2 week notice both times, and I've never stayed for the entire 2 week notice because of the company. The first time I got lucky, so I didn't learn my lesson. I got paid for it, and there's a story to that. And the second one, I just totally got let go the week prior. But it was never like a big deal because I've never like really lived paycheck to paycheck. I've always been decent with my money. So it's never really put me in a bind, but I've learned a lot from it, right? So the job I had before the ever last job I had, I worked there for a year as a medical marijuana plant. I already did a video about how my female manager was on some bullshit. She was toxic. And I got paid for my 2 weeks notice. I didn't have to work it, right? I didn't have to work my 2 weeks notice. I got paid for it, and I got my PTO, which you are guaranteed for. Most states, they have to pay your PTO when they terminate you, right? The only reason I got paid for those last 2 weeks is because I had leverage and I caused chaos and confusion on my way out. So I got a job offer while I was there for about the same amount of money right down the road. And that's when I said, okay, 2 week notice, it's happening today. So instead of going to my manager, it always led me astray and always said, just like in that girl's video, you know, she talked to her lead first. I said, fuck that. I went to HR, which you're supposed to in the handbook, right? I went to HR, said, hey, this is my 2 week notice. And they said, okay, we need to give a written form tomorrow. I was like, all right, bet. I'll have it tomorrow. Right in your hands, okay? But can my 2 week notice start today? And they said, yeah. I said, all right, cool. So I didn't tell my manager shit. She was a bitch. I didn't tell Tika. Fuck, it doesn't matter. I'm never going to work there again. Fuck you, Tika. I didn't tell her shit. Next day, she calls me, rambling, yelling at me and shit. She's like, blah, 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 blah. I know you only got one more week left here. She was just being a fucking bitch. So you know what I did in turn? I went to the vice president. I messaged him on Slack all day that day. Talk about, I wanted some woke shit. I was all like, they're retaliating against me. They were. They wrote me up twice in 1 week out of nowhere after I brought up some safety concerns. But yeah, I was like, they're retaliating against me, and now my manager is berating me over the phone in front of other employees. And that shit worked. When I came back that Monday, they just said, hey, man, we're just going to pay you for the last 2 weeks. You can go. Just go and turn your badge. You're also going to get paid for your PTO because I had 42 hours of PTO because I never took a sick day because I'm fucking Chad. So, yeah. So my last check was pretty fat, and it was all good. I didn't realize at the time I got probably the sweetest deal I could have, and it was because I had leverage, and all the higher-ups were probably just like, fuck, we just need to go and, like, make him happy and get him the fuck on out of here. The last job I had, though, I gave him a 2 week notice, like, right when I got accepted for a job offer. It was right before Christmas. I worked the rest of that week, and then it was a small business, so I wasn't really tripping too hard about it, but at the end of the Friday, right when I hit 39 hours for the week, this motherfucker goes like, well, today's, your last day, and all that. I'm like, really, dude? And he's just one of those guys. He's just, it's kind of a job in between jobs, so I wasn't too mad about it. I was just like, whatever, man. Like, at least I get Christmas week off. So I went like 8 days without having any work, which was fine, but it was still annoying. It kind of hit me in my head. I was like, bro, giving a 2 week notice is fucking stupid. Because if I was a single mom, or if I was, like, dependent, like, living paycheck to paycheck, I'd be fucked right now. Because you gotta look at the company you work for, right? If the company you work for fires people, like, boom, like 3 write-ups, they're out kind of like deal, or they just fire people on the spot for certain things, they don't need a 2 week notice. They give you a right then and there notice. Why the fuck did they need a 2 week notice if they can just fire whoever the fuck right there, then and there? They don't care about none of that shit. I guarantee you, if they're doing shit like that, they're just going to find someone else to take your spot like tomorrow. Or they'll go and fire you and just deal with it. They'll just get some manager who they don't like to go and do all your extra work because they're probably on salary. So their hours don't really matter because, their paycheck's already set. But we need to get creative with this shit as a nation. I'm talking, if your job has PTO, if you have a lot of PTO, and you get, like, you're already doing the interview process, and they give you a job offer, accept it right then and there. Who cares? Your current job will not call your next job about you not giving a 2 week notice. Why do they give a fuck? They're both competing for your talent. Let's see here. Here's what you need to do. Because the job market out there sucks. A lot of people don't have a job and cannot get a job right now. So here's what you do, right? If your company sucks and you're never going to go work there again, and you get a job offer and you get accepted for that job, don't say anything. Just don't. Tell that company, if they really do ask about the 2 week notice, just be like, yeah, I would give a 2 week notice, but this company's known for firing people for giving a 2 week notice, so I hope you understand that we don't want to do that because they've already accepted you. They've already pretty much hired you at that point, so why would they be like, oh, at the last second? Or if they don't ask, don't say anything. Just be like, yeah, I can start tomorrow. And then, if you have enough PTO, put in PTO right then and there. Be like, hey, I won't be there for a week. Or just be like, oh, I'm sick. I'm going to be out for the next couple of days. Use all your PTO while you're working your new job. So that way you got 2 paychecks stacking each other, right? Hell, at that marijuana facility, one of the head maintenance guys there, man, he, like, knew that they were going to fire him because they were already getting this new guy that they were going to try to get him to train up so that they could fire him later. So he just said, fuck you guys. So he took his entire PTO and UTO, which was like 2 weeks, 2 week vacation. Took it, right? The day he came back, he clocked in for a little bit and said, yeah, I quit, and just left. He didn't give a fuck. But if we want to retire in this economy, we got to start stacking jobs with jobs. I'm talking, if you got that PTO, UTO, go ahead and use it, never come back. That way, while you're on the PTO and UTO, if you start that new job, while, you're kind of doing both at the same time, Your old job, just be subtle about it. Your old job that you're planning on leaving doesn't know, right? New job, you're getting the feel for it. Because within the first couple days or so, you're going to know if a job's for you or not. So if that new job is not for you, well, okay, cool. You can go and quit it and then go back to your job that you were going to quit, and keep searching. I mean, you're going to be in the hole for some PTO or UTO, but it's security in it. Because the worst thing you can do is just let them know that you're quitting. Think about it from a corporate standpoint. Why are we going to let this employee, who's already said he doesn't care about us anymore and he's going to quit even though the company doesn't care about you anyway, why are we going to let him work the last 2 weeks when we can just get some half-ass supervisor or manager to do the little bit extra work that he's going to do anyway? Get rid of him. Get him off the payroll now. And if you really think companies, everyone's always like, oh, don't burn a bridge, you never know if you have to go back. Dude, you should not be, ever thinking of going back. You should have already exhausted all your options. Once you leave a job, you need to go and accept the fact that 99% of the time they're never going to accept you back. I don't know where all that bullshit's coming from. That's boomer energy right there, bringing up, oh, don't burn bridges. Burn that motherfucker down. Look at that poor lady at Wells Fargo that died at her cubicle, and it took them 4 days to find her body, and they only found it because of the smell. No one called or texted her, no one came up and checked up about her, and none of the employees want to talk about it because they were afraid of getting fired. These companies don't give a fuck about your ass. Let that sink in. She died in her cubicle, probably with a half-eaten Jimmy John's tuna salad sandwich and a Diet Pepsi and those Vicky jalapeno chips. Yeah, that sounds about right. Is that really how you want to go out in this world? Is that what you want to do? So, let's let my generation, Gen Z, go and just be the generation that just abolishes the 2-week notice. We just get rid of that shit out of existence. It shouldn't be.
That's a video, guys. I'm just here also to share the true sense, what I think about today's video. Okay, a lot of older workers have been laid off from their jobs. So just imagine, this is you, it's happening right to you. So you've spent years dedicated to a company, you have worked overtime for weekends and stayed loyal through hard times. One day you finally decided to move out on the company. Out of respect, you give your employer a 2 weeks notice, just like you were taught to. But instead of saying thank you, you are shown the door immediately. No warning, no appreciation, just gone. This is happening across America right now. Today, we are talking about the growing trend of workers getting fired immediately after giving their 2 weeks notice. It's shocking, it's unfair, and it's changing how people view professionalism in a workplace. So there's also the broken trust for decades, where we are taught to give a 2 weeks notice as a sign of respect. It gave the company time to prepare, to find the replacement, and to up loose ends. It was seen as a professional thing to do, but the trust is broken now. Companies are abusing it. Workers who try to live the right way are being treated like threats, like traitors. The moment you say, I'm leaving, they treat you like an enemy. So why? Because companies are more worried about control than loyalty. Okay, so we have to know this. You're not there anymore. They want you gone immediately. No transition, no support, just cold dismissal. Another thing that I want to talk about is a story. A young woman in tech gave her notice after 5 years of loyal. Within 30 minutes, her email was cut off. She wasn't allowed to say goodbye to her team. She didn't get an exit interview. Just a call from HR. Today is your last day. A father in his 50s gave notice after landing a new job with better pay. He wanted to give 2 weeks out of respect from his manager. Instead, they fired him immediately and refused to pay out the rest of the time. No severance, nothing at all. So these are not isolated stories. They are happening more and more every day across the industries. So there is also the corporate fear factor. Companies say they're protecting themselves. They fear sabotage, data theft, or some clients. How people really go in their last 2 weeks. Most just want to leave gracefully. The truth is, employers don't trust workers anymore. They don't do it. They're afraid that if you are not loyal to them, even for more more than 2 weeks, you're dangerous. It's a paranoid not discussed as a policy. And let's not forget, many of these companies expect workers to train their replacement during the notice period. How can they ask that when they don't even let people say goodbye anymore? So there is also workers are responding. So what are people going to be doing now? They are leaving without any notice, abruptly like that, because if a company won't respect your notice, why give one at all? Some workers are ghosting jobs, just not showing up. Others are quitting overtime. The professional are cost disappearing, and employers have themselves to. And let's not ignore the fact that what is this does does emotionally. Getting fired after trying to live respectively can destroy a person's confidence. It can feel like betrayal, like punishment for doing so, right? But the kind of treatment stays with people. Another thing that I want to talk about, what needs to change. We need a conversation about dignity, about respect. If a company wants professionalism from workers, they must offer the same in return. They should be laws that protect workers or give notice, maybe mandatory 2 weeks pay or penalties for employees who fires without cause or any notice. It's also time to rethink how we handle exit. Leaving a job shouldn't feel like a crime at all. It should be part of the healthy career path. So another thing that I want to talk about is if you're thinking about quitting your job, here is some advice. Be very careful. Know your company culture. If they are fired others after giving a notice, consider protecting yourself. Secure your next paycheck. Back up your personal data. And mostly importantly, take care of your mental healthy. Okay, because in today's workplace, giving a 2 weeks notice might not just be old fashioned, it might be dangerous for you. So let's keep talking about this. Share your story in the comment section. So I've seen a lot of people coming out really on TikTok saying they gave like a 2 week notice and they were immediately fired. And these are just not stories. So if you're planning like to exit from your company, please be very, very careful when you're doing all this, because you're not going to get your next paycheck. You're not going to get any benefit from this company. They're just gonna fire you right away. And this is not new. We've seen this happening. We're not just talking from without, we are talking from within, because a lot of people, they've come on TikTok to say, I've been fired from my company after giving a 2 week notice, because we know 2 weeks notice is just the way it's supposed to be, that when you want to leave, you give them some time for them to find a replacement. But companies, they just fire you there and then, and they already post your position and all that. So you're not needed if you give a 2 weeks notice. So do it smart, do it like a silent move. Okay, if you feel like that is going to protect your job, that is going to protect you as you're leaving this company, because you shouldn't be scared to leave a company. There's time to grow, there's time to try new things. People, we are born to explore and all these, and especially if you find a good company that is offering better prices or better salary for you. So yeah, that's a video, guys.